Good morning. I'd like to call to order the Public Improvement Commission hearing of August 8th, 2019. Our first agenda item are the hearing minutes. At the request of the Public Improvement Commission staff, the acceptance of the minutes of the PIC hearing held on July 25th, 2019. Any questions or comments on this? Right, I'll entertain a motion on this item.
I'll make a motion to approve PIC hearing minutes, July 25th, 2019.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved. Moving on to the utility pole hearing on a joint petition by Eversource Energy and Verizon New England Inc. to install one new utility pole within Amory Street, a public way in Roxbury, to be located on its northwesterly side at address number 125, generally between Atherton Street and West Walnut Park. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. I'm Katie Flaherty representing Eversource. I was expecting Bill Wallace from Verizon to be here as well, but I know that this pole is necessary to supply service to a temporary fire station on Atherton Street.
Got it.
Let's go on.
And after the fire department is moving back to the current facility, will this pole be removed or will it be left there?
I don't have that answer. That would be Verizon.
But you're basically adding another pole in front of 125? Yes, adding another pole in front of 125 to basically to support the temporary facility.
Correct.
Okay.
And this has been coordinated with the 125 development project that
Perfect.
recently came to PIC.
Okay. All right. If it basically is doing nothing after the temporary fire station is relocated back, do we have the ability to then remove this utility pole?
I guess it depends on what ultimately gets attached to it
Fair enough.
and where it goes
Yeah.
after the fire station.
Right.
So is it Eversource, is it a service connection from you?
It's from
Or
Verizon.
From Verizon.
It's joint owned, so I'm here to say Eversource does not oppose it. And
So we expect somebody from Verizon?
Yes, they should be here.
We do have a signature on it. Is it providing,
Just
say
wanna find
providing
out
power
what the plan
or
is.
telecom?
I'm sorry.
Is it providing power or telecom connection?
I believe it's power, but I'm not positive.
I mean, entertain a motion on this, but I think we can find
More
out
information about the pole. Yeah.
exactly, just to make sure that. Motion to continue or motion to approve pending?
I think that we can probably figure it out. I don't know what the time frame is, but it seems like we should get it hooked up.
All right, I'll entertain a motion on this item.
Make a motion to approve the joint petition by Eversource Energy and Verizon New England Inc. to install one new utility pole, as read in the record by the chair, and the caveat that staff work out the final plans after the station is rebuilt. What do you do with the new installation?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Moving on to our public hearing. Our first item is on a petition by the Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority for a granted location to install new electrical infrastructure within the following public ways in Boston proper, Brighton, Roxbury, and South Boston. The locations are Arlington Street, generally between Boylston Street and St. James Avenue, Park Plaza, Comm Ave east of Lake Street, as well as generally between Washington Street and Clay Moss Road, Roxbury Street between Malcolm X Boulevard and Washington Street, West 4th Street, west of Dorchester Avenue. This was new business on July 25th, 2019, and this is as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Granted Location Plan, West 4th Street, Dudley Bus Station, Arlington Street, Commonwealth Ave at Lake Street, Commonwealth Ave at Washington Street, Boston, 10 sheets, dated July 2019.
Good morning, everybody. Dino DeFranzo representing the project. I'm also here with Jim Caraselli, Director of Construction for the MBTA, and Paul Bede from AECom. We received approval on July 25th at new business. Since then, I've coordinated with Amy and Todd one more time just to make sure everything was in order. Everything is in order, and we are ready to move forward. Let me know if you have any questions.
Can you walk us through again, just for the public
Yep.
hearing purpose, the
Paul, could you
overview of
walk them
this?
through the projects, just limits of work and
This project is replacing existing duct banks that are failing. First location is West 4th Street. We're going to be going from City of Boston property all the way down to Winchester Ave. Going to be going under the bridge attached to the existing utility bay over the Amtrak tracks, and back into the street, connected to the existing facilities that are changed.
When that work is done, no impact on the actual West 4th Street bridge deck itself, just mindful of our driveway for frontage.
No, it's all underground.
On the bridge.
Under the bridge.
Great.
And you have Mass DOT approval on the attachment?
Yes, we've coordinated with District 6.
I think last time there was some confusion about what was happening with this, with the old line, but this is actually adding additional capacity, and they're still occupying the existing duct bank. So it's not a duct bank replacement, it's a duct bank addition.
So basically, the approval that they're seeking here is just for the intersection of West 4th, Dorchester Avenue, and,
Yes.
right.
Yeah, like at the new business, there was a question of a temp line and then the removing of a line or it being abandoned, but everything is still gonna be in use.
And that will be open cut within the intersection.
Yes.
Yep.
Second location is in Union Square. Coming off of Orange Street, going through the bus facility, and then Roxbury Street, up to Malcolm X Boulevard.
And I know we just discussed this last time, and you've been in coordination, but just as a reminder, just to stay in coordination with the city's Dudley Phase 2 project.
I've been coordinating with Joe Vazella, and I'll remain coordinating with him through the work.
Perfect.
Third location is Arlington Street. We're going to be putting in a initial phase 1 to remove all the active cables out of the existing line. We'll be paralleling the existing line. And when the cables move over, we'll come in, we'll replace the existing duct bank with a new duct bank, and we will put some of the cables back in there and be holding in perhaps.
And in this one, sorry, the old duct bank is going to have no more cables in it?
No, the old duct bank will be used, yeah. The engineer last week misspoke. That's gonna be extra capacity that's needed out in that area.
Right.
And if there, for any reason, chief, if a duct bank does become abandoned, they've been instructed to remove it, yes.
Great. Thank you.
So the duct bank that was just installed is a temporary measure, that will still be utilized?
Yes, for the extra capacity. But if any duct bank does become abandoned, they will have it removed.
Fourth location is Commonwealth Ave at Lake Street. The replacement is starting in the sidewalk, going to the left turn lane, connecting back in down here. It gets us further away from the green on track that allows right now. It's safer installation.
And I know we talked about this separately, but can you talk about the number of other sort of duct bank work the MBTA does or doesn't plan on doing in 2019 and beyond?
Right now, the next phases of duct bank work is under review up at the chief engineer's office, so it's under the planning phase right now. Design hasn't started, even conceptual. As soon as that goes into the queue, I will contact you and give you that list. But for 2019, you should not see us back here with any duct bank projects.
Very good. Other question? Go ahead, sorry.
No question? The fifth location is Commonwealth Ave at Washington Street. Coming out of the existing manhole intersection, going out from under the tracks right now, because under the tracks, between the tracks. We're gonna pull it out to the side, go down in this hardscape, landscape area, back in.
So, with this work, this is being coordinated with the track crossings, work that we're currently underway?
Yes.
So, we've thought about that and when we're gonna be able to do this versus where you're gonna be.
Yes, and I've met with Don Burgess and Al and Wilson. I've met with them on both projects, grade crossings and the duct bank.
But I just wanna make sure that, internally the T's.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Jim's
I know you are,
Jim,
but I
Jim has been, Jim's one of the directors, he's got both projects under him, so Jim's well aware of both of them.
And the same contractor.
Perfect. Jim, you got your work cut out for you.
And the last two sheets are the details that were in that set of 10, duct bank configuration and such not. Questions?
Questions or comments?
So we've sat down with the team and we've come up, went over the, construction management plans, hours of operation and stuff. And we're pretty comfortable with what we've come up with. I think there's been a lot of flexibility on the MBTA side. And I appreciate that.
And thank you, Eddie, for all your help too, I appreciate it. I know you guys got a lot going on.
Amy or Todd? Members of the public? All right, I'll entertain a motion on this item.
Make a motion to approve the petition by the Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority for the grant of location to install new electrical infrastructure within the following public ways, as read into the record by the chair and as shown on the set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, grant of location, West 4th Street, Dudley Bay Bus Station, Arlington Street, Commonwealth Avenue at Lake, Commonwealth Avenue at Washington Street, 10 sheets dated July 2019.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to our next item on a joint petition by Olivo LLC, doing business as Kennard Tavern, and Frat LLC for the granting of a sidewalk cafe license for seasonal outdoor seating within Orleans Street, East Boston, located on its northwesterly side at address number 24, southwest of Webster Street, and consisting of seating for 22 persons and approximately 137 square feet within the public way. This was new business on July 25th, 2019, and this is as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Sidewalk Cafe, 24 Orleans Street, Kennard Tavern, East Boston, one sheet dated August 2nd, 2019. Morning.
Good morning. Attorney Laureen Scatino for Kennard Tavern, and with me is Philip Ferradaroli, who's the manager of Kennard Tavern. So our petition today is to request a outdoor sidewalk cafe. The public cafe area would be 157 square feet, and the private area of the cafe would be 102 square feet. As you can see from the plans, most of the outdoor seating is actually on our own property line. The sidewalk lends itself very well to having a sidewalk cafe, as it's 8 feet 3 inches, 8.3 feet wide, and this is within walking distance of East Boston's waterfront as well as Maverick Square.
The resulting sort of sidewalk width, I know we just covered this, between the end of your cafe and the curb line,
Between the end of our cafe,
roughly 5 feet.
it's 4.5 feet.
You've actually revised that on your plans, it's 5 feet. So,
Perfect.
yeah.
Great.
It's interesting, the name Kennard, is that after the shipping line?
Yes, so that section of East Boston's waterfront was a big shipping port for most of the 18th and 19th century. And Kennard Lines owned the kind of the wharf that we're part of now. And there was actually a dive bar in the 30s and 40s called the Kennard Tavern, pretty close to where we are. So we're trying to play on the history of the neighborhood.
Other questions or comments? Amy or Todd? Members of the public? All right, I'll entertain a motion on this item.
I make a motion to approve the sidewalk cafe license within Orleans Street as read and record by the chair.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Thank you so much. Our next item is on a petition by TC Systems, Inc. for a grant of location with lead company status and no participants to install new telecommunication conduit with city shadow within the following public ways in East Boston. White Street between Utah Street and Trenton Street, Utah Street between southwest of White Street, Trenton Street at White Street. This was new business on July 25th, 2019. This is as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Grant of Location Plan, TC Systems, Inc., Proposed Conduit Placement Plan, Trenton, White, and Utah Street, East Boston, Mass., 6 sheets dated April 2019.
Good morning. Chris Murray with the Giamari Group, representing TC Systems for the Granite location in East Boston. One of the issues that was brought up in the July 25th new business hearing was the location of the manhole, as you can see there on White Street. And per the board, we did move the said manhole to a new location. And to follow up with the PIC is that we did get notifications back from some, but not all of the public agencies as directed.
Who are we waiting on?
We've got everybody who cares about underground.
So 2 of the 3 manholes are in the sort of furnishing zone, 1 is still in the street.
And we moved that one in.
This is all open cut?
This is all Mike Trench.
Perfect.
Other questions or comments? Amy or Todd? Members of the public? All right, I'll entertain a motion on this item.
I make a motion to approve a petition by TC Systems, Inc. for a grant of location with lead company status and no participants to install new telecommunication conduit with city shadow within the following public ways in East Boston as described in the record by the chair. As shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Grant of Location Plan, TC Systems, Inc., Proposed Conduit Placement Plan, Trenton, White, and Utah Street, East Boston, Mass. 6 sheets dated April 2019.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Moving on to our next item, on a petition by Crown Castle Fiber for a grant of location with lead company status and no participants to install new telecommunication conduit with city shadow within Prince Street, Boston proper, generally between Commercial Street and Lafayette Avenue. This was new business on July 25th, 2019. When this is shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Grant of Location Plan, 109 Prince Street, Boston, 3 sheets dated June 19th, 2019.
Hey, good morning. Again, Chris Murray with the Giamari Group, representing Crown Castle for grant location on Prince Street. At the July 25th new business, we were asked to look into relocating the manhole in the sidewalk area, as shown on the plan here. After we looked at it a little more closely, the manhole could not be moved due to a large gas line that runs right next to it in the curb line. So it was agreed that we would keep it there.
Thank you for removing that.
What's your proposed schedule on this?
I don't think we have a schedule yet, but once we get the okay from the department, I'm sure that someone will be down to talk to your department about getting permits.
Just keep in mind right now, for the month of August, the feasts that are going on in North End, so it's pretty much a no-fly zone right now.
Gotcha. Make note.
Other questions or comments? Amy or Todd? Members of the public? All right, I'll entertain a motion on this item.
Make a motion to approve on a petition by Crown Castle Fiber for a grant of location within Prince Street, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Grant of Location Plan, 109 Prince Street, Boston, 3 sheets dated June 19, 2019.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Moving on to our next item, on a petition by Crown Castle Fiber for a grant of location with lead company status and no participants to install new telecommunication conduit with city shadow within P Street, South Boston, between East 3rd Street and East 4th Street. This was new business on July 25th, 2019. This is shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Grant of Location Plan, 39-41 P Street, Boston, 3 sheets dated April 9th, 2019.
Yeah, good morning. Chris Murray again with the Giamari Group, representing Crown Castle, looking for grant location on P Street in South Boston. During the July 25th meeting, we had a question about a manhole location at the corner of East 4th and P Street, as it was in a sidewalk area or a crosswalk area. We've relocated that manhole structure to avoid that. And I think we have all the notifications from the public agencies as well.
This is Michael Trench.
Correct.
keep in mind, there's a rather large building project at East Third and P Street going on right now, so.
Where is that, Ed?
East Third and P Street,
East Third?
Yep. It's a new three-family that's going in.
So none of the new manholes are either in a crosswalk or...
Correct. They've been relocated.
Other questions or comments? Name your touch. Members of the public? All right, I'll entertain a motion on this item.
Make a motion to approve a petition by Crown Castle Fiber for a grant of location with lead company status and no participants to install new telecommunication conduit with city shadow within P Street, South Boston, between East 3rd Street and East 4th Street, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Grant of Location Plan, 39-41 P Street, Boston, 3 sheets dated April 9, 2019.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
All right, thank you all.
Our next item is on a petition by the City of Boston Transportation Department for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in Dorchester, consisting of curb realignment and sidewalk reconstruction, as well as new and relocated pedestrian ramps, specialty pavement, streetlights, speed humps, raised crosswalks, storm drain infrastructure, driveway curb cuts, and a traffic circle island. The locations are Harvard Street at School Street and Thane Street, School Street at Harvard Street and Thane Street generally between Park Street and Harvard Street and School Street, Park Street at Norwell Street generally between Harvard Street and Talbot Avenue, Millet Street generally between Harvard Street and Talbot Avenue, Spencer Street between Harvard Street and Talbot Avenue, Whitfield Street generally between Park Street and Rosedale Street, Southern Avenue at Whitfield Street, Elmhurst Street generally at address numbers 31 and 32 at Elmhurst Park, Talbot Avenue at Colonial Avenue at Talbot Avenue. This was new business on July 25th, 2019, and this is as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Specific Repairs Plan, BTD Neighborhood Slow Streets Program, Dorchester, 17 sheets dated August 5th, 2019. Morning, Stephanie.
Good morning. Thank you for getting through that long list. Wait till we get to Highland Park, where all the streets are named Highland. So my name is Stephanie Seskin. I'm the Active Transportation Director in the city's Transportation Department. I'm joined today by Ed Myers, who's the principal in charge on this project at Kittleson & Associates. As I said last time, Neighborhood Slow Streets is our traffic calming program for the City of Boston. It is a zone-based program, so we look at a network of streets in our neighborhoods. We reduce the regulatory speed to 20 miles per hour and introduce design changes to the streets to self-enforce slower driving and safer interactions at intersections. We have 12 zones that are currently somewhere in the program. These are 2 of them. We have been working closely with the residents in these neighborhoods to understand their concerns, collect data, and use best practice engineering judgment to propose solutions in partnership with the Public Works and Boston Transportation Departments. I'm going to hand it over to Ed to present.
Hi, thank you. We're working in 2 neighborhoods west of Washington and the Talbot-Norfolk Triangle, both in the Dorchester neighborhood. We're proposing a handful of treatments in west of Washington. This is west of Washington map. There's speed humps on Norwell, Millet, Spencer, and Whitfield Street and Tane Street. So these are these north-south streets, and there's a series of speed humps on there, somewhere between 5 and 6 on each street. There's a curb extension at Harvard School, Harvard and Tane, this intersection here. There's a lot of pavement at that intersection, and the geometric improvements are meant to try to improve that. There's a raised crosswalk at the intersection of Norwell Street and Park Street, right here. So those are the proposed improvements for the west of Washington neighborhood. We're also proposing this is the Talbot-Norfolk Triangle neighborhood. We're proposing a raised crosswalk at Elmhurst Street. There's a park near there, raised crosswalk and curb extension at Colonial and Talbot up in this area, and then a roundabout at Whitfield and Southern Avenue. So those are the extent of the improvements that are being proposed. At the last meeting, there were some questions raised that we would like to address. Why some of these are, we're proposing permanent improvement, and it's really for a couple reasons: maintenance, durability, accessibility. You know, for example, where the curb extensions are, we're trying to put the pedestrian out a little bit further into the street in a protected manner, and if you put in temporary fixtures, they're really not as protected as they would like to be or expect to be. And then the community expectations from an aesthetic standpoint. We will evaluate the changes 1 year after installation, both in terms of the anticipated speed reductions. As Stephanie said, we're trying to get down to 20 miles per hour for these, and we'll evaluate to see how effective they are. We'll also do in-field observations to see how all of the users of the system will be using them, whether there's any issues with fire trucks or delivery vans, those kind of things. And then we'll collect this information and prepare a memo as to the findings of it.
What's your quantitative analysis? How are you going about that?
Well, the quantitative analysis, as Stephanie said, what we're trying to get to is 20 miles per hour or lower particularly in the areas where the speed humps are, and we'll see what the 85th percentile speed is relative. Yes, yeah. We did that beforehand, and we'll do it afterwards. Yeah. The speed hump. The speed hump locations, how were the locations determined? There's a lot of existing roadway characteristics, street classification, grades, curvature, physical features, average daily traffic, bus routes, emergency vehicle status, and others. The speed hump spacing is based on, we want to get to 20 miles per hour or less, and some of the pilot projects that Stephanie's worked on found that if they're either isolated one speed hump or they're further apart, they're not quite as effective. So the sweet spot is 200 to 250 feet. And most of these we have some that are a little bit closer because of some of those roadway characteristic elements that we had to put them at 180 or 160 or whatever it is. They need to be clear of driveways, surface utility features, and then the block length also plays into it. So some are a little bit closer, but 200 and 250 is what we were trying to get at. So that's the program, and I'm happy to go into more detail on any of the improvements or whatever you would like, or we can open up the questions.
You might have covered this, but when will we expect the evaluation, roughly?
It's about a year after. It just kind of depends on when it actually gets constructed, because we do want to take counts during certain times of the year. Yeah.
And speed, crashes, events?
Yeah, the crash data is more on a 3-year basis, so that we actually have some to go with.
Right.
Hopefully we don't have any.
Right.
So I think this has been a good, great collaboration between the Public Works and Transportation Department, to get the engineering and planning teams together. So this is a great program that's being presented here, and I appreciate the hard work you do, Stephanie, on that, and Mr. Monticelli back there. So glad this is going forward.
I just have a question about Park Street and Novo Street, the raised crosswalk. How will that affect the drainage?
So we put it on the south side because that has the least impact. If we were to put it on the north side or raise the full intersection, we would flood the street. So
right.
Yeah.
So then with this raised crosswalk, there'll be no ponding.
There shouldn't be. I know that you did bring that up on another location,
Yeah.
Which is not fixed in these plans, but will be addressed before we do finals.
Okay.
Yeah, Colonial and Talbot, there was an issue of water and sewer raised, and we'll address that comment and make sure that there's no ponding.
Okay, yeah. And then, I'll also check this intersection too, and we'll work together after the meeting. That's fine. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Other questions or comments? Members of the public? I'll entertain a motion this item.
We got members of the public.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's group. Very good.
Hi, my name is LaQuisa Burke, and I'm the president of the Westfield Washington Coalition. We also go by the WOW Coalition. I want to thank the City of Boston, the Soul Streets Program, and everybody here, Public Works, for working with us. We really want these improvements to our area. In addition to us getting a new park in our area, we feel like these additions on Norwell Street definitely, especially with the speed humps, will be the most beneficial to the area to slow people down. Currently, I think there's about 80% of the people speeding on Norwell Street from Park Street to Talbot Ave. It's like a highway. My car personally has been crashed up. Just recently, like 3 months ago, a car stopped at Park Street and backed up all the way up Norwell Street and crashed into 3 cars and almost totaled my car. And that's because there's nothing near stopping them from slowing down or doing anything crazy. So I really would appreciate if you guys would approve this plan. And the WOW Coalition is here to support you guys. Thank you.
My name is Dustin Gardner. I'm also part of the WOW Coalition. I live at 274 Norwell Street, also in strong support of all these changes, as well as neighbors in the surrounding streets. So just wanted to echo LaQuisa's comments.
Hi, I'm Dave Creeley, Director of Eco Innovation at the Common Square Neighborhood Development Corporation. I'll send you written comments later, but just want to echo what everyone else said. In terms of supporting this project, it's really shown the best of how the city works together with residents, and it's already showing measurable improvements. I also want to personally commend Stephanie for her patience and professionalism, because I know she's sometimes stuck between municipal desires and resident desires, and she always comes out with a win for everybody. So thank you for supporting the program. I hope you continue to do so for years to come. And that's it.
Appreciate it. Other questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion on this item.
I make a motion to approve a petition by the City of Boston Transportation Department for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in Dorchester, consisting of curb realignment and sidewalk reconstruction, as well as new and relocated pedestrian ramps, specialty pavement, streetlights, speed humps, raised crosswalks, storm drain infrastructure, driveway curb cuts, and a traffic circle island. The location, as previously described by the chair in the record, also is shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division, Specific Repairs Plan, BTD Neighborhood Slow Streets Program, Dorchester, 17 sheets dated August 5th, 2019.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved. Moving on to new business. First item is 771-825 Beacon Street, Maitland Street, Boston proper, widening and relocation, specific repairs on a set of joint petitions by Fenway Center owner 1-2 LLC, BCH 819 Beacon Street LLC, and the Massachusetts Department of Transportation.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is Kevin Wright from VHB. I'm here with Kevin Daly from KP Advisors, who's representing the ownership. We're here to present the actions for specific repair and widening and relocation on Beacon Street for the signal improvements that are planned for the Beacon Street, Mountford, and Maitland Street intersections. We've mailed out the necessary notifications to the city agencies and private agencies. In July, we received responses from key agencies from the BWSC, ISD, BPDA, Street Lighting, Veolia, RCN, MBTA, Verizon, and the Boston Fire Department approving us to go forward to new business. We've had meetings with the Disabilities Commission and as well as the Street Lighting Commission or Division to go over those improvements as well. We've met with them to talk about the plans and what the improvements are going in.
So can you walk us through just both the widening and then obviously the signal that's coming in? Can you walk us through the pieces?
I'll start with the widening. As I noted, we worked with BTDs from conceptual design all the way through PSNE, which was just recently approved in July, to install signalization equipment on Beacon Street for this intersection. For the widening, there is a 45-foot mast arm at the corner of Beacon and Maitland Street on the Fenway Center / Mass DOT portion of the parcel. That's also within the area that was approved last year as our pedestrian easement. In order to put the equipment there at this location, we need to, we were told to widen this corner to allow for that signal equipment to go into that location. And on the west side of the Maitland Street intersection, there's a section for widening of every location, approximately about 2 feet from every 121 feet to allow for conduit and 2 traffic signal posts to go into this intersection. One of the key reasons that we have to locate these equipment off of the road is that there is a vaulted bridge support, which we've coordinated and talked with BTD about extensively. And you can see highlighted here to support the bridge. It's 2.5 inches below the surface. So we've got our signal equipment located just outside of that because of the foundations that's going to be required for the pedestrian post, the traffic signal post, and the mast arms being the deepest foundation. So that's why these 2 posts are located outside here, because as you can see, the vaults come right up at this point in the sidewalk.
You talked to MassDOT as well about it? You talked to MassDOT as well?
Yes.
Perfect, great.
And the discontinuance for the conduit, property owners on board on that?
Yes.
We have signatures from all granting parties.
That was Children's or?
Yes. Sorry?
Children's?
Children's as a signature. I believe there's a highway easement document that goes along with this that's supposed to be worked out with the city.
And then you talked to the specific repair. I know you covered some of it, but just walk through the pieces.
For the specific repair, in order to, I'll start on the north side of the intersection. In order to locate the 35-foot mast arm, as well as providing adequate accessible ramps and pedestrian signal head posts, we have to build out the corner of this intersection property about 10 feet or so, in order to put 2 accessible ramps on that location. This is an existing crossing here at this location. We're going to be putting in, as I said, accessible ramps here, and then accessible ramps to get us across Beacon Street in this location as well. We met with the street lighting department. They've approved the relocating of this street light. They've asked that we put in a brand new concrete pole and coordinate with them, as well as utilizing the same type of lighting fixture that's out there right now when we relocate. As you go east, we've added in an accessible ramp as well on this side, and this will bring us to an accessible ramp that's already existing. It's built under a variance with the AAB back in 2013. So we're not touching those two ramps as they are already constructed and built and approved, and we're tying into that location to connect them across the side of Beacon Street. And then this will be brand new ramps for this crossing on the western side.
Do we know if the two ramps that are framing Maitland are still in compliance? I know they probably were just rebuilt 5 or 6 years ago, but are they?
Yeah, these ramps were built in 2013, still compliant with the variance.
It's not compliant, but it has a variance
Right.
for it's not compliant.
Yes.
I'm wondering
As good as it can get, with the appropriate variance.
I guess it's a question of if there's been any degradation since 2013 while we're doing some work. Is there a way that we can
Can
actually?
you just verify that it's not cracked and that the panel's still up there?
Exactly.
We'll talk with construction.
Terrific, thanks. Other questions or comments?
Just in the installation of the signals, that's, you know, as mitigation for the new project. Obviously, we're going to be having a lot more pedestrians in the area. Not only with that, with the Fenway station, and a lot of people have been walking mid-block out here, so this is an attempt to get the safe signalized crossing in here, and we appreciate the work that you did here.
We have no issues with the work. Some of our facilities were labeled incorrectly. I can send you that information. It's just for cleanup purposes.
Sure, I did see your comment.
Yeah.
about the sewer.
No, it's all right. Yeah, you know what it is? It's our covers are labeled incorrectly. So if it says it's sewer, it still may be a drain line. So that's what the issue is. Yeah. That's all. Yeah. Thank you.
No problem, we'll get that straightened out.
Kevin, you just connect between now and new business on the location of the traffic control cabinet, just to make sure it's in the optimal place for BTD to maintain the signal over time.
Probably have it back a sidewalk or not up at the front face.
Okay.
I think that still wouldn't impact the bridge deck beneath, but.
It is outside of that.
Right.
Connecting location. But it provides a certain distance. I can verify what that is for people to pass. But I believe the location is prime to connecting here, as well as the interconnect that goes to the Park Drive intersection, because they're tied, according to
Just that we just don't like the CV on the front face of curb because of knockdowns, people opening doors into the cabinet, so.
a lot of our signals that you talk with, they're on purpose.
Thank you so much. Other questions or comments? Amy or Todd?
Okay.
Members of the public, please. Or sorry, number 13.
Sarah Leung, Mayor's Commissioner for Persons with Disabilities. We'd just like to request a copy of the variance for the ramp at Beacon and Matland.
So between now and the public hearing, you can get Sarah the copy of the variance, take a look at the actual condition of those two ramps covered by that variance, and then just talk to Don about the location of the signal cabinet.
Okay, yes, we'll.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. See you in 3 weeks on August 29th?
Yes.
Great. Thank you. Our next item is 189 Ipswich Street, Van Ness Street, Boston proper, specific repairs, private utility license on a set of joint petitions by 189 Ipswich Street Realty Trust and the Old Town Team Realty Trust. Morning.
Good morning. I'm Brian Fairbanks, civil engineer from VHB, and with me I have Michael Lamphere with Jones Lang LaSalle, and we're here today representing the Red Sox for the 189 Ipswich Street lot improvements. Specifically, we're here today for a specific repair to an existing curb cut on Ipswich Street and for a license plan for a private broadcast duct bank across Van Ness Street. So all of this is for a new broadcast facility for the Boston Red Sox.
And currently this parking lot is used for that purpose? You're just enhancing it, or it's used for a different purpose right now?
It's currently used as a parking lot. Yeah.
So this is, in effect, this is the new triangle lot development?
That's correct.
Basically displaces that?
Exactly.
Correct.
It replaces that function.
Yep, the operations that currently exist on the triangle lot would be moved to the 189 Ipswich Street lot.
Can you walk us through the, both of the specific pieces, the
Sure.
The licensing and the curb cut?
So I'll start with the specific repair plan. So today, there is a approximately 21-foot curb cut on Ipswich Street, and we're proposing to widen it to a 30-foot wide curb cut on Ipswich Street. This would be done where the concrete and the pedestrian traffic path has the priority. Based on comments we received from BPDA staff, they had also asked there's an existing curb cut to the south of the one that we were specifically talking about, and today that is with asphalt, and they had asked that we replace the asphalt with concrete to give the pedestrians the priority. And again, the need for the widening is due to the large trucks that are going to be using the lot for that.
Now, is there grade changes to get those vehicles into that lot?
So there won't be any grade changes in the public way. It's going to have the city standard driveway apron that goes up to the sidewalk. The sidewalk itself will grade from the back of the sidewalk to the street as it does today. There will be grade changes to the lot itself. So today, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but the lot dives down very steeply. In the proposed condition, we are raising the grade of the lot in order to have it basically between a 1% and 2% slope, because the broadcast trucks themselves need to be on very level ground. So we will be coming in and installing a retaining wall and raising the grade of the lot to accommodate.
And I realize it's not specific to the curb cut, but how do you anticipate managing sort of the load in and load out of the trucks before and after games? Just knowing, I mean, this is in a wonderful way teaming with people both before and after a game.
I'll try and answer that. So those broadcast trucks tend to come in before and leave after home stands, right? So they come in once and leave once, and they come in really after hours. Those trucks don't like to drive on the city streets during traffic, so they come in late at night, early in the morning.
And the thought is that each of these trucks tie into this duct bank, which would then bring, that would then connect into the stadium itself?
That's correct.
Okay. Can you walk us just through that piece?
Sure. So that, so for the license, for the location, the license plan on Van Ness, so we're proposing 12 6-inch fiber optic private duct banks that would come from the south of 189 Ipswich Street lot. They would cross Van Ness Street in a perpendicular fashion and would then connect to a room that's going to be retrofitted within Fenway Park to receive the cabling on that end.
And then we also have a small utility building on the 189 Ipswich Street site, right? So the trucks tie into the
Correct.
utility building. It's basically like an IT room, and then they connect from there into Fenway Park.
So is the intent of this lot also to incorporate some of the local affiliates that currently stage on Ipswich Street?
Yes, that's
Van Ness?
correct.
Yep.
It's for, Nesson, but also would be for ESPN trucks, and there will be during, large events and for special games, there will be other broadcast trucks parked in this lot as well.
That's good.
Any approval from National Grid or notification for National Grid, given the proximity to the gas line, or no?
They've been notified of the work.
Other questions or comments?
Yeah, I just have a question about the conduit that you're proposing.
Yes.
So we have the water and sewer, we have existing utilities you're crossing. I was just curious, like, how you determined these depths, or if you, how you're planning to determine them during in the field?
The depths for your existing, so those were based on our field survey, and then we cut a cross-section from the existing conditions information.
Okay. So they've been vacuum X, or have they been?
They have not been vacuumed.
Okay, so just like total station survey?
Yes.
And level run survey? Okay.
Correct.
Other questions or comments? Any other thoughts? Members of the public? See you guys in 3 weeks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Our next item is 212 Stewart Street, Shawmouth Street, Church Street, Boston proper, vertical discontinuances, specific repairs, and a projection license on a set of joint petitions by Stewart Acquisition 12 LLC, Stewart Acquisition 22 LLC, and the Boston Planning and Development Agency.
So good morning, Chris Oddie with Niche Engineering. So we are here for 212 Stewart Street this morning on a number of petitions. So the building itself is going to be a new 19-story residential, 126 units with a small retail unit in the first floor. The lobby is going to be on Stewart Street, kind of the corner of Stewart Street and Church Street, so we'll have access from both sides. Located right on the edge of the Bay Village. The part of this project is to sort of create like a front door for the Bay Village, Church Street, as a pedestrian pathway, kind of drawing people in. So I'll start with, well, this is a rendering of the building. I'll start with the discontinuances. So essentially what we have is, as part of the public process and coordination that has been ongoing for a long time now, we were asked to create larger space in Church Street, which meant that we had to move the building over. So that necessitated some discontinuances along Stewart Street to fit the building in. Essentially what we end up with is a strip that extends maximum 27 inches out from the building, from the property line along Stewart Street. Just because of existing takings that have been done in the past, it ends up being 10 discontinuances, but it's really just to create one continuous strip along Stewart Street. I think that's better shown with the on page 2 section. Okay. So the discontinuance itself starts approximately 24 feet above grade and then extends up from there. And it'll have residential space in the building above.
How different is, Chris, how different does this look? So if you're looking down Stewart Street, what does it look like from an urban design perspective? Is this jutting out more or less than other?
Yeah, Peter Spellius with Transom Real Estate. The Revere Hotel actually protrudes more proudly onto Stewart Street than this building will. And just to correct, we've actually agreed with the BPDA and PIC that this actually, I think, is going to be a single. I think we've resolved on a single discontinuance for the entire plane. Is how we've resolved it.
And what is the discontinuance for?
So it's for, the building itself will extend over the public way.
All right, I gotta ask the question. So the building, portion of the building that hangs over the public way, what is programmed there?
So it's going to be residential space.
Okay, so it's not an electronic billboard or anything?
No.
Thank you.
Would you like one?
No.
Other questions on the discontinuance?
All right, so we'll move on to specific repairs then. So starting with Stewart Street, we're maintaining the approximate curb line along Stewart Street, making some minor modifications at Church Street just to kind of round it out a little bit better than it is today. But essentially there's a small bump out, going from left to right on the plan, there's a small bump out that exists at the edge of Church Street. We're extending that out just a little bit just to clean it up, and then we'll be following the existing curb line down. The improvements in the sidewalk are basically new concrete sidewalk, a new curb cut that's 13 feet wide, new vertical granite, new trees. We're just removing and resetting the streetlights, and then new ped ramps to go along with that.
Did you receive my email on this?
Yeah, so the original email that you got was we were pulling out that bump out to meet the new cycle track dimension. And that work is not happening, so this is essentially just leaving the existing conditions so that when we come through, it's the same as it ever was. I think that this bump out's kind of important to the neighborhood. So the notion of just removing it as an interim condition
So
is,
it's not going in, is that what we're saying?
we're not changing the existing condition at all, we're just getting reconstructed in place, rather than modifying it to try to get us to the cycle track condition or that cycle track curb line. The curb will be relocated when we come through with our project, but this is exactly what's out there today, with just a little bit of an extension to get to the water to the catch basin.
And then to try to minimize in the future any, the work that has to be done, we have a flush curb that's gonna run along where the new curb should be. We'll have to move the ramp, but everything else should be able to stay where it is.
So this could become a flat curb, but it would, it would need to go back to the community because they wanted that bump out enhanced rather than.
That's why we put a traffic signal there.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so moving on to Church Street. Chris, I apologize, kind of cover this. Can you just walk us through sort of where the building entrance and exit is and just a little bit of see where the driveway is, but can you just walk us through just how it operates?
My name is Kevin Lee from Sasaki Associates. We're the architect of record. Essentially, we have two entrances on Stewart Street. We have the retail entrance towards the eastern side of the building. We have a loading dock here. And the entrance into the residence actually is towards the western side of the building, with the lobby kind of facing out into the Church Street lawn. On the south side of the building, what we have are two entrances into individual units, with some exits coming out of the building as well.
And then so the new curb cut is right here.
Right there. Yep. And there's a sort of a concrete sidewalk that right now splits the buildings, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay. And it's metered parking? What's currently what's on Stewart in front of where your new entrance would be is metered parking?
No parking.
No parking at all?
Yep.
Got it. Okay. I mean, I think we'll likely get a fair amount of pickup drop-off, so we should just be thinking about how do we actually manage that in its design.
Okay.
After some conversations with the Parks Department, we are modifying what is happening in that little Church Street stretch, so that we can maintain some existing trees, rather than removing some of this.
Got it. Can you walk us through, Chris, the detail of the Church Street plaza?
So as Amy just said, there will be some changes, especially to the trees, particularly on Church Street. So Church Street today, and in the future, is basically a pedestrian road. We're going to maintain, we're going to have vehicular pavers up and down Church Street. It's going to maintain emergency vehicle access. It'll all be graded less than 2%, so it's going to be a pedestrian plaza. There will be trees in there that is sort of up in the air right now, and then there's going to be a large path sidewalk on the east side. And then, as we said, the building was moved over, so the sort of public space is still extending out to the private property on that side. Pretty much very similar to Stewart Street, relocating streetlights, new trees, new concrete sidewalks, and new pavers.
And it's all pavers in this stretch in the Church Street Plaza, essentially.
In the Church Street Plaza, yes, there will be a concrete sidewalk on the east side.
So one thing we should just talk about is an LMI for the pavers themselves, if they're not sort of a standard detail. Perfect. Thank you. Great. Thanks. What else?
So on Shaba Street, so now we're on the south side of the project site. On Shaba Street, we are bringing the curb out just a bit into the street to create a small bump out. We'll be building a new pedestrian ramp at the south side of Church Street to maintain access across the street there. And this is sort of Church Street drawing people into the Bay building, so this is improving that access. And then curb basically goes back to where it was with a small bump out for every tree. There will be 4 parking spaces along just city standard concrete in this area. And then we'll have 2 new trees.
Other questions or comments? Anything else you guys want to cover? In your time? Members of the public? All right, see you guys in 3 weeks.
You want to talk about our canopies and?
Oh, yeah, we should. Thank you, Chris. Success.
Digital side.
Yeah. Oh, my.
So we're also here for 2 new canopies on Stewart Street. And so these canopies, they are a minimum of 12 feet 1 inches above sidewalk grade. And they're heat traced internally drained. They extend less than 2/3 of the sidewalk, so we've got a 14.1 foot sidewalk, and the max extent is 10 feet of the canopy itself. It's basically in line with the part of the strip.
Can you talk a little about the design of the canopy itself? That step along.
So the building, as you may know, the building itself is, the exterior of the building is a precast concrete building. And in order to mimic the same kind of language throughout the building, what we decided with our design architect, Howard Yoon, was to create 2 precast concrete canopies. We feel that these reflect the nature and the intent, design intent of the building, and provide an interesting element to Stewart Street.
Other questions or comments?
One more.
Please.
So then the last thing, and this will end up being, I think, rolled into the specific got 6 new recharge wells along Shopman Street. This is to meet the Boston Water and Sewer recharge requirement. We'll have a tank in the building, pumps out to these wells, and they overflow to the Boston Water and Sewer system. Small caps in the sidewalk for access for maintenance in the future.
So the tank is in the building?
Yes.
Great.
Yeah, and that plan is still being reviewed by BWSC?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we have comments. We're addressing them. We'll get them back to Boston Water and Sewer.
Okay, great, thank you.
I know the contractor submitted the construction management plan, going through some final revisions on that, so it's been good progress on that. It's gonna be a tough build, but a good plan.
Thank you.
Other questions or comments? Your time? Chris, anything else?
I'm all set.
All right. See you guys on August 29th.
Thank you.
All right. Our next item is 855 Commonwealth Avenue, Boston proper, specific repairs, projection license on a set of petitions by the trustees of Boston University. Go ahead.
Good morning, I'm Paul Rinaldi from Boston University. The project we're introducing is at 855 Commonwealth Avenue, College of Fine Arts. The building was constructed about 100 years ago, 1919. Sometime during the early 70s, for some reason, they decided to fill in all of these beautiful plate glass windows that were the new car showroom. The university's embarked on a renovation of the project, including significant repair on the upper floors of the masonry. As part of that, the proposal before you is to install some projections that are part of the reinstallation of the glazing. The projections have been reviewed. In fact, the approved by the BPDA, and a specific repair as assigned to the planting bed that is part of the Commonwealth Avenue Part 2 design. Chelsea?
Good morning. So the actions we have before you are the specific repair for the sign. It's about a little less than 6 feet high and 1.5 feet wide to be installed in the grass strip that's currently under construction as part of the CAP 2A project. And then the canopies themselves are about 11 feet above the sidewalk and only about 9 inches over the public way.
And it's a sort of static wayfinding sign to mark that this building is the College of Arts.
It's static, it's not illuminating.
Do you anticipate more of this type of signage throughout your campus?
There may be something associated with data science project.
Well, I'm just thinking that if this is going to be a continuous signage kind of program that
No.
you have, we would get you under one agreement and all of your signs could go in one signage agreement and you can add to your inventory.
Typically, these signs are on university property, up and down the avenue. We prefer to have it there. You have no need here.
Looks like the sign's placed it in a forest.
Please?
Where the sign's being shown is in the middle of all the trees.
Well, it's in the grass area. It's this area is not fully complete, but yes, there's shrubbery to be installed as part of the landscape plan for CAP 2A, but it's not actually trees around it.
It's not even a shrubbery.
I don't know the exact species, but
The project will come to an end, we understand.
We hope.
We all do, right.
On your projection plan, will those sconces, they're not already there?
yes, they're shown on the plan. They're not quite dimensioned.
Yeah,
So we
just so
can
that,
have those
correct, yeah, just make sure that we're capturing all of the stuff that's happening in one.
They don't project out further than the sunscreen.
Thank you.
But that would be listed. Thank you for bringing the windows back to this
Yeah.
project. It's a great project. Other questions or comments? Any time? Members of the public? All right. So you
Thanks for your time.
Of course.
Thank you.
Our next item is 25 Jankarski Way, Dorchester, specific repairs, sidewalk cafe license on a set of petitions by Allstate Road, Edens LLC, and 110 Grill South Boston, Grill SB Boston LLC.
Good morning. My name is Steve Moderano. I'm with Bowler Engineering. Here today with me is Keith Haig from Edens and Kevin Erickson from the 110 Grill. What we're proposing here, so 110 Grill will be a new tenant this is part of the South Bay development. Buildings A, B, and D are open for folks who've been over there. So the retail blocks are open. The first residential building is open, and there'll be one of the retail tenants in the first floor of that first residential building. So exciting moments for that project in general. And what we're here today really is to get approval for some specific repairs to accommodate a sidewalk cafe associated with the 110 Grill. The sidewalk cafe license will be on Jankarski Way, which was a new road created by the South Bay development that is partially open at the moment, and the final piece of that road is wrapping up soon. So this is on a portion that's already open to public travel. Again, a very exciting moment for the development and the city to get to that point. To walk through some specifics, I can go through the cafe dimensions. It's approximately a 10-foot wide cafe space, and then there's an additional 10 feet plus of sidewalk, which there's a portion that we are proposing to remove. There's a portion of the sidewalk that's 10 feet. There's a portion that's a little over 5 feet. In the portion that's over 5 feet, we're proposing to relocate a tree and remove the pervious paver blocks just in that one small stretch. And that is really to accommodate a full clear width 5-foot-plus sidewalk. And again, that was coordinated with the Disabilities Commission along with the design of the fence enclosure to make sure that we were meeting ADA, AAB, and the City of Boston requirements for accessibility. Again, the tree location will be just to the other side of District Ave, so we show a proposed tree location on the plans. There was a landscape bed already in that area. It was more programmed for lower vegetation, but we're incorporating that tree and a couple others actually just to change the way that landscape looks and make sure we're not losing a tree as part of the project. And again, that was coordinated with the Parks Department. And then with Boston Water and Sewer Commission, we just ensured that the water lines just constructed would not be conflicted with anything that we're proposing to do with this sidewalk modification. So those are the comments that we got from folks, and happy to answer any questions or point out anything on the plans.
It's sort of a post and chain sort of barrier essentially that you're using.
So there is a detail. I have a representative image here, but really it's metal posts with wire, straight across wire cable. Yeah. And we're developing a more representative image of what that's going to look like. We're happy to share that at the next hearing. Yep.
Can you do a pedestrian level of service?
There's really no pedestrian activity today because it's a brand-new road. And
Must have projected numbers though, right?
I don't, do you recall if they did that as part of the development of Jankarski?
For pedestrian?
Pedestrian level activity projected on that road?
Projected traffic volumes?
Traffic volumes are all put together, but not pedestrian.
We can look back at the studies because there was an extensive study when we were developing Jankarski.
I'm not really concerned about it, but if you have something.
Sure.
Perhaps a question for Sarah or for Amy, but on the eastern edge, essentially, it looks like in order to get that 5-foot clear path of travel, it requires use of some of the furnishing zone. Is that yeah, exactly. On the far edge, that basically the 5 includes some concrete and some paver area.
Right. So this paver stretch would be replaced.
You're going to take up that because it's all of concrete from the tree pit.
And then the pavers start here, and we have landscaping in this area here.
I'm sorry. You said it in detail.
Yeah. And this is, the tree
is going to the other side of the district. Other questions or comments? Member time?
Good.
Members of the public? All right, see you guys in 3 weeks.
All right, very good, thank you.
We're going to our next item of new business, 3rd Avenue, 13th Street, 16th Street, Charlestown, a granted location on petition by Crown Castle Fire.
Good morning.
Morning.
Okay, hi, I'm Shelley Cullen, representing Crown Castle, and this is for a grant of location in 3rd Ave between 13th Street and 16th Street. And we did put out notification to see if any other companies wanted to participate, and there was no interest.
What precipitates the build-out?
This is actually going to support their nodes on the light poles.
And we have, and Crown Castle has the license for that node on 16th, and that's been approved, or
They have an approval to
from
take
street
that.
lighting.
Again, the manholes would prefer not to have the middle of the crosswalk.
Yes, and we already checked that out. I looked at it, and it does not fall within the crosswalk.
So is it a manhole or is it a handhole?
This one's a 3x3.
3x3, okay.
They're being used interchangeably right now.
Other questions or comments on this one? Your top? Shall I see you on the 29th for this one? Our next item is West 7th Street, D Street, South Boston, a granted location on a petition by Crown Castle Library.
Shelley Cullen again, representing Crown Castle, and this is a very similar situation. No participants. We are looking for lead company, and it's about 600 feet on West 7th Street between D Street and C Street.
Shelley, just for the record, who are you with?
Axis Engineering.
All right, all right.
And so I am representing different companies.
Yes. I see you with many hats.
I wear many hats, and that's only in my engineering field, so.
You got others.
Yeah, we won't go there
All
right now.
I'm interested.
I'll give you my business card.
And Cindy, they have the approval from street lighting for the pole replacement on the side. There was really nothing closer, I guess. There was nothing closer.
Pardon?
Then this 700-foot run, did you say?
Yeah, it's about 600, 623, I think. Yeah, they did look at other options. They looked for City Shadow. They looked for Verizon. And I also did look up the bus. There's a bus number 11, but it's not interfering where the manhole is. Where the handhole is, they actually reduced the size to a 2x2.
Other questions or comments? Amir Todd? Members of the public? All right, see you on the 29th for this one as well.
Excellent, thank you.
Thanks. Our next and last item is 3193 Washington Street, Montebello Road, West Roxbury, specific repairs on a set of petitions by At the Stony Brook LLC.
They have said.
Oh, actually, there was
two changes.
Yeah, there was two changes with the width and the Hi, Steve Sawyer with Design Consultants, Inc. I'm here with Jacob Simons with Stony Brook LLC. Stony Brook LLC. The proposal here is we're closing, it's a mixed-use development, 46 residential units with this three retail spaces on Washington. Currently, there's a curb cut that was on Washington. That'll be closed up. There'll be a new curb cut on Montebello to enter the parking garage that ramps down into the parking garage below, where there'll be 20 parking spaces below grade. As part of the BPDA process, they had asked for a bump out, or they requested a bump out at the corner of Montebello and Washington, which we provided the bump out. With that, we've added one tree on Montebello. We've added a tree at where the previous curb cut that's closed up on Washington Street. There are two trees on Washington that we're going to maintain. And then there's a third tree on the property line that'll be maintained. We are adding a permeable paper strip between the tree boxes. We are maintaining a minimum of 5.2 feet between the tree box and the building. And there is a traffic control box, and that measured distance is actually 5.2 feet between the building and that traffic control box. There is a headlight that will be pulling out actually a traffic signal that will be pulling out from the existing curb line, pulling it out probably about 3 or 4 feet, setting at 18 inches off the new curb line. We did run turning movement, SU30, to make that corner. One thing we do recommend is to add no parking from this location to the corner. Montebello is one way. one way. They do park on both sides of that street.
So who did you run that analysis in turning movement through in the transportation department?
I'm sorry?
Who did you run the analysis for the turning movement from the transportation department?
Yeah, we did that, we just ran that the other day. It's just an SU-30 simple turning
So
template.
we have buses that, basically school buses that go down here? Right?
Yep.
Yep. So, again, what precipitated the neck downs? Who did you talk to at Public Works and Transportation about this?
Unfortunately, the submittal was submitted by another engineer in a company, and I'm gonna come in.
Because I have some big-time concerns on any
Okay,
neck down.
okay.
With basically getting our school buses in and around, not to mention SU-36, which is your basic trash vehicle.
Yeah.
And pulling out the curb and relocating our traffic signals. Who have you talked to on our signal engineering division?
I'm not aware that that's going.
That needs to happen.
Yeah, that needs to happen.
Yep.
Yep.
It's nice to have the discussion with BPDA, but the people that make the decisions and you approve the design sit right here.
Absolutely.
Okay? So you should set up a meeting with the transportation department.
We'll do that right now.
Yep, thank you.
It's useful for us to start with this intersection, probably just Forest Street, Montebello, Washington.
So this is under construction right now. We also have the project across the street.
Yeah, there's a lot, yeah.
So a lot going on. Now, you're New Boston Development? So I'm trying to, who's the players here? So you represent who?
I'm with City Realty Group, so we're the owners and developers. New Boston is the GC on the job.
So they're the GC?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah.
I have a question. How will that new sidewalk, that new bump out, how will that affect the drainage?
We provided spot grades. It will not affect the maintaining gutter line flow along the new curb line.
Okay.
Other questions or comments? Your time? All right, so it looks like there's some conversations between now and the 29th.
Yeah.
We need signals with the engineering as well as with Public Works, just to make sure that this design actually works from a bunch of operational perspectives.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have my card here.
With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so moved.